Hey, fellow readers, I'm Ashley,
And I'm Jessica.
and this is
Series Sisters. She's all like bent out of shape because she gets too excited and she's loud. So she was trying to be quiet.
And sexual.
Oh. Well,
Sensual, I guess,
that
is
got
more
weird.
accurate. Just doing it for you. I'm sure it is. How are you?
I'm good. And you?
I'm great.
Oh, you got a great in there.
Yeah, because I got my meds adjusted today.
Ooh, meds.
So that's exciting.
Cool.
Yeah.
Trying to think if I have anything interesting to say, and I don't.
Well, that's cool.
So I was looking through our author, Rachel Gillig, her TikTok.
Oh, she's got a talk.
Mhm.
Okay.
Rachel Gillig Books. Just
Real
to
original Rach.
see if I could figure out if she had like a clip of her
Saying his
name, which I couldn't find. So if anyone,
Did you message her? You need
not
to
yet,
message her.
but I will. I'll show her our last week's episode where we have that letter that says, "Dear" or "Miss Gillig." How do you pronounce this?
Yes.
Okay. But I couldn't find it. But she's got a couple TikToks of her art of what the cards look like.
Oh, good. Okay.
So if you're
cool.
interested,
Maybe I'll try to crochet one. Do they look too
oh
elaborate?
no, you could crochet. You could totally crochet.
I'm on crochet. Crochet that shit.
Speaking of crochet,
Yeah.
I hope my coworker doesn't mind.
Ooh, yeah.
I guess I don't have to say her name. But...
No. Maybe get us some business.
So I got back to my cubicle, and on my desk was this. This one's mine. There's also another one with Ashley's name, Series Sisters.
They're little book thongs.
Yeah. And she had left a note saying, "Don't put them on."
That wouldn't even fit my thigh, baby.
I'm glad that she said
well,
that.
you know, maybe that's so nice of her to think that we're that small.
So we'll have to put those on
some books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Josh was like, "I've never heard of that." I'm like, "Well, because you're stupid." Anyway, thank you.
Okay,
They're really, really,
rude.
really cute. I like them.
All right. So we're on the very last.
This is our last one, guys.
Last ep of this book. Then we'll do The Maze Runner next time.
To say what it is.
Yeah, this will come out after we reveal.
Oh, that's true. It's fine. I'm scratching. Sorry. Yay, The Maze Runner. Yeah. Apparently she's been texting with my husband about it because I haven't ever read it, but they have, so they've been discussing.
Yeah. And I got into it. Well, I had read the first one a while back. I liked it. And then I reread it for this.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't stop. So I read the next two, like, in a week.
Yeah.
There's others. There's like a prequel and then some others, but I haven't read those. But the three main ones I have read, and they are all movies. I haven't seen them, but I think we should have a movie night.
Watch them together.
Yeah. Yeah. So we might do that where you guys can join us.
Yeah. That'd be fun.
That would be
Even
fun.
if it's just a couple of you, it'd still be fun. Yes.
BYOBs. All right. Do you have anything else?
I don't.
Shoot. Now I have to remember.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hold on. Whew.
Take a sip of that Bev.
Bev. Elspeth.
She's there.
They got the gate card from the guy. The Hellscape Boys pulled it off.
Yep.
But during that, she scratched Hote really good because she let the nightmare in, and he broke her wrist.
That already happened.
That was that the second?
Did that happen in this one? No, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm so fucked up. Carry on. You're correct.
Okay,
keep going.
Thanks. And then they were all over at the Elms families. What's their castle called? No, they're
Castle.
U
for the U's.
Yeah, is that what it is?
Elm is not a U. Elm is a Rowan, but yes, it's Castle U.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, Castle U. So they're staying there, and hold on. Raven. Raven. He takes Elspeth to the broken down stony castle from her dreams. Ruins. That's the word I was looking for.
Stony castle of your dreams, baby.
He shows her his rock.
Yeah, he bleeds on it first.
That's where they keep the cards.
Uh-huh.
They kiss.
Yeah.
She sees the nightmare man, who is the Golden Knight, the Shepherd King.
Yep.
She finds out that every time she lets him in, she's giving up part of her soul, and his soul is getting stronger.
Correct.
Inside of her.
Yes.
Okay. Then there's the party day at the market.
Market day. Uh-huh.
Oh, market day.
Yep.
Market party.
Party market. Market part.
Okay. But Hope was all like, "Oh, this kid has magic, and I'm gonna kill your parents and send them into the mist." But then Reno, he kind of stops that from happening by using his scythe card. Elspeth takes the little kid out into the woods, gives her
sounds creepy, but yes, she does.
Charm, says, "Go find your parents."
Yep.
But she let the nightmare in again, and I think he killed that one dude that she attacked. Linden,
close. Yeah, I'm good.
And then she ran over to her boyfriend, and her eyes were her hands were still claws, and they still had blood on them.
Yeah, and they were all blood.
And they were all
yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. Good job.
And she fought her dad in that one battle.
Yes.
And Ione helped cover her story about breaking her wrist.
Falling off a horse, yes.
Okay.
Good job.
Thank you.
She did well. All right, you fucking ready to go?
Let me hear the end of this book.
Okay. And then you're going to want to read it.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, read it. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she came up at him, and her hands are claws and bloody.
How did she come up at him?
Raven! I don't know.
What the hell was that?
That's my scary character.
It's my strong arm.
Anyway, he took her hands, and he wiped the blood off on his tunic.
Even though they were claws?
I think
did they transform
I think they'd calmed down since then. He asks her who it was that she'd maimed, and she said Linden. Raven notices that the destriers more destriers were coming, so he tells her to stay put, and he goes and speaks with them. Elspeth asks the nightmare what he had done, and he says, "We did it together, just as we always do. You asked for my help, and I delivered it." Raven was back, and he asks her what happened. Had she been recognized? Elspeth says, "I don't think so. It all happened so fast. I freed the boy and took him into the mist. I gave him my charm so he might save his parents. But a destrier followed us. I didn't intend to." Raven waited.
Murder.
Yeah, fucking act crazy.
Yeah.
Raven waited and then asked about the yellow that flickers through her eyes. When she says she cannot tell him, he says, "Then your estimation of me is lower than I imagined."
Oh, his feelings are hurt.
Yeah. But he's not a baby about it, and I appreciate it.
Okay, that's good.
Raven, yeah, you don't have to worry about the miscommunication situation.
And he gets all butthurt.
Yeah, no, it's fine. He's we're going to talk this shit through.
Yeah, what's his name in Fourth Wing?
Zayden. Yeah, he's
and they're all kind of butthurt.
Yeah, it's not babies. Attractive.
No.
But they are.
Yeah.
Read it, Fourth Wing. Good.
Yeah, that's good.
Then Raven pulls out his nightmare card.
Uh-huh.
He taps it. It's right in my cleavage. He taps it 3 times so that he can let Jesper know to Jesus Christ to take Orith. That's how she says it. Orith. Take that man to see Linden to see if he can help him.
Okay. So he's not dead yet.
No.
But
He hangs on, but
okay.
barely.
Okay.
Raven and Elspeth make it back. Nope, not back. They make it out of the mist and then back to the street. He has her, remember, she was wearing Elm's cloak and the mask.
And the mask.
Yes. So he has her take that stuff off so that she can just pretend she was a maiden who got lost in the mist, if anyone asks. The Destriers parted for Raven, whose gaze, I typed that wrong, whose gaze was fixed on Hope. What the fuck do you think you're doing? You called for a public execution on market day without my leave? The High Prince says, I have the right to execute any person guilty of harboring an infected. Raven interrupts him. It is your right to uphold the king's law, but not without my leave.
Without his leave, doesn't that...
Not my approval, not my go ahead.
Okay. I thought like without
I
leave...
give you leave to like him. He's like many a stupid person.
Okay. Thank you. Putting it in context via Pride and Prejudice.
Can always do it. He continues, don't think me deaf to the dissent you sow behind my back, cousin. If it's commands you want, take it. Next to Elspeth, Elm smiled. Hope would not take his chances against someone immune to the scythe. Raven addressed his men, saying, would you follow a man so unwilling to take a simple challenge? Your prince is just that, a prince, and you are not his brutes. You do not disrupt Blunder's peace, nor force its citizens to witness cruelty. You are as shadows, silent and swift. Most essentially, you are the keepers of our words. Wary, clever, good. Is that understood? And the Destriers respond, yes, Captain. But then, like, Hope doesn't say that. And so Raven's like, motherfucker, are you going to say it or what?
I'm still your captain.
Yep.
So is captain over prince?
Yeah. In regards to things that happen within the Destriers, he's over the prince.
So because the Destriers were helping...
Some of them were, yes, they were aiding him in this, yes.
Okay, go ahead.
As Raven, Elspeth, and Elm walked back, Raven tells them that he let Jesper know to search for the boy and his parents. They have a place for children like him, which that's all they talk about as far as that goes in this one, but they do talk about it more in the second book.
About where the children are and what's happening?
Yeah.
Okay.
Raven stopped suddenly and Elm ran into his back. Raven, who's still using the nightmare card, says, I just spoke to my father. We need to get back to Castle U now. The three begin to run until they see Fenrir at the square. He had a carriage waiting. While they climb in, Fenrir says, Thistle says he snuck in the gate after we left this morning, which means he escaped last night. If Orith hears, he won't be gentle with him. Raven assures his father that Orith Willow will be busy for quite a while. Elm gets all pissy and says, is someone going to tell me what's happened? Who snuck into the gate? Why are we returning to the castle? And Fenrir responds, Emery. Emery has run away from Stone. When they arrive at Castle U, it is rainy and cold. Emery is in the library. He was asleep on a bench near the fire. They notice that his lips are blue, and Elm uses his scythe to warm him. Emery wakes, and Raven scolds him for being so careless. Emery says, I'm dying already. At least this way it's on my terms.
Yeah.
Fair. He looks over at Elspeth, and at first he doesn't recognize her. She steps closer, and he realizes that her last name is Spindle, and so he starts talking about the spindle tree. He gets distracted, and he says, you are very beautiful. Your eyes are so dark, infinite, like a maiden in a storybook, as if the Shepherd King had penned you himself. Moret mentions that Elspeth knows all about the Shepherd King in the Old Book of Alders. Emery asks if she knows that yous are descendants of the Shepherd King. Everyone rolls their eyes because apparently this is something he talks about all the time. Emery goes on saying, the Shepherd King's history is gone, but Rowan histories are fascinating if you read between the lines. Stone was built by the first Rowan king, which means the Shepherd King dwelled somewhere else. There are no other grand castles in Blunder, save for the one that sits here in the ruins at Castle U. But the ruins aren't the oldest thing in Blunder, the trees are. If the Shepherd King did live here, he would have taken the name of the trees, the way everyone did. And what kind of trees are planted all along the estate, even near the ruins? Yews. That's his reason.
Okay.
And Elspeth asks the nightmare what his real name was. And he answers that his name, like his last name, was Ash. Lost to the winds, he says. You're going to be so mad when you learn that man's first name. It's not going to be in this book. It's the second book. But I'm expecting a text message. John Thistle came into the room with some food. While Emery eats, Raven tells him that he needs to take him back to Stone. Emery agrees as long as they take him to see the trees in the garden first.
Oh, he's just homesick.
Yeah. So they let him stay the night and they're going to go tomorrow. Elm is glaring daggers at Raven. Finally, he hollers that Raven is a fool. They could have been sneaking into Eric Spindle's house looking for the well card, but Raven had wanted to go to market day to be near Elspeth. And then Elm looks at Elspeth because she had mentioned that they should have done that since her dad wasn't home, remember?
Yeah.
And he tells her that her plan wasn't a bad one. It just wasn't the right time. Elm and Raven continue to argue. Elm says that the king will be pissed about an assault on his guard and a botched arrest of an infected child. Raven tells him that without the facts, Elm sounded like an idiot. Apparently, Raven had those two dudes, Wick and Peter Ivy, sneak in to look for the card. They'd done it early in the morning. That way, the three of them, or especially Elm and Raven, would be off the hook because they would be seen at market day, and so they couldn't be said that they were in there.
In Spindle House?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry. Raven says, we can't afford mistakes. What if we'd been seen? It's one thing to steal a card behind a highwayman's mask, but entering a man's house, stealing in the light of day, is a risk we cannot afford. Unless you think you have the stomach for an inquest. Elspeth asks if there would really be an inquest. Questioning. Even if they weren't caught in the act. And Moret says, card theft is unforgivable. My brother places full retribution in the hands of the card owner. Anyone, no matter their station, might be interrogated. A chalice card is presented.
Mm-hmm. That's the truth one.
That is the truth one. Jesper returned at nightfall. Unfortunately, the infected boy and his parents had not been found. Lyndon was alive, only just. After a while, all that remained was Elspeth, Elm, and Raven. Elm could feel the tension, so he leaves to let them talk. Elspeth tells Raven that she wants them to be honest with each other. She's scared to tell him what's going on, so she says it in a rush. I'm degenerating, Raven. It's why I attacked the Destrier, why Elm doesn't trust me. I'm changing. Like, damn it. It's gone. Nope, it's gone. Not the way you are and not the way Emery is, but just as sure. When Raven asks what kind of degeneration, and Elspeth tells him that she's never spoken about it. Raven says, we all have secrets we're forced to keep, Elspeth. I trust you. You're safe with me. Magic, or something else, is pulling us together. Only 2 more cards, and then you'll be free. They kiss again. And then Raven takes her to his room so that they can bone, which they do.
Oh, shit.
There's bonage.
Hold on. Before we bone.
It already happened. It's too late.
I know, but did she tell him what's going on?
Not really.
Okay.
Basically, she just said that she's degenerating.
Okay.
She didn't explain that there's a 500-year-old man in her head.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's important,
It
especially
is.
while they're boning. But
I think he goes to his area where he can't be reached.
He's peeping.
He's
a peeping king.
Oh, man, I wish I could say his name so that I could say what it is. But I'm not going to.
Dang it.
Because I want you to be surprised. Okay. So they're bonering. It's very nice.
Is it a sweet bone?
It's a sweet bone. And it's not, they don't explain too much of it.
Okay. So it's not super spiced?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I had to remember. So Elspeth slipped out the room. Slipped out of the room at dawn.
Mm-hmm.
She meets Jesper in the hall, who gives her shit about doing the walk of shame.
Mm-hmm.
After breakfast, they had to take Emery back to Stone, but before leaving, they kept their promise of taking him to see the trees. Elspeth catches up with Emery and tells him that she needed to ask him something. She says, I need your magic, Emery. I need you to touch me again. You don't remember, but you touched my arm at equinox. You told me things about myself I'd never told anyone. I want you to look again. I need to know who or what he really is. When their hands clasped, Emery first said the same thing he said at equinox, but then he looked further. I see a creature curled around your spine, as if woven into you. Elspeth asks how long she has, and Emery continues, Not long, Elspeth Spindle. He's close. He hunches, not animal, not man, but something in between. He stands in the room he built for the spirit of the wood, perched upon a tall, dark stone. He whispers something, and it's that there once was a girl clever and good, blah, blah, blah. The two were together, so the two were the same, the girl, the king, and the monster they became. When Emery comes to, he notices that Elspeth's eyes are yellow. A yellow.
Yellow eyes.
Yellows. Yellow eyes. Later that night, Elspeth dreams again. But this time, fearful children followed her through the meadow. The sky was black, the moon masked by stone. Snow. The moon was masked by smoke, not stone. But they did come to the stone chamber.
Okay.
And Elspeth lifted the children through the window one by one. Someone was
she feeding the king?
Here's a kid. Here's a second kid. Yeah, for you. No. So someone was already waiting for Elspeth in the chamber, lit by the red of his scythe. Pain seared through her, and she coughed up blood. As Elspeth fell, the sharp scent of salt stung her eyes and nose until the world went dark. When she woke, she was in the chamber again, having sleepwalked. Sleepwalked?
Sleepwalked.
Yeah. When she stood, she noticed how dirty she was. Soil stretching from her nail beds up to her elbows. Around her feet lay loose earth,
digging?
Upturned, around the magical stone.
She was trying to dig up the stone?
She's trying to dig something.
Oh.
But it ain't that stone.
What's over there?
That's just my face.
Okay.
There's an audience.
Okay. Over there?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Shit.
They're everywhere. She, Elspeth, asks the nightmare why he'd brought her there again, and he says he needed to see something. Elspeth looks closer where she dug. A long rectangular shape of choppy soil and grass. She realizes that the stone was not just a stone to hide Providence cards. The stone chamber lays right on the outskirts of a cemetery.
Okay.
So
there's like a dead body in there?
It was a grave marker.
That's what I said.
Yes. I was agreeing. You fucker. Elspeth asks whose grave it was. And he says, don't you know? And then he laughed. The room darkened, and the last thing Elspeth sees before losing her footing was her dirt-covered fingers, long and stiff, covered in blood. Why is it he's always covered in blood?
So it's either his body or his partner.
Somebody.
Thanks. Thank you. It's somebody.
Somebody's in there.
Okay.
So this time, Elspeth woke up again. And now she's in her bed. So she thought the whole thing was just a dream, but she was still covered in dirt. The nightmare pops in her head. He pops that shirt off, and they have a conversation.
Just pop that name tag on.
Pop it on. They have a conversation / argument.
Who? Wait, what? Who?
The nightmare and Elspeth. She wants him to just leave her alone, but he cannot do that. The nightmare lays out all the times he's come to her aid, and Elspeth points out that he would have died too had he not helped.
True.
Today was the day they would look for the well card. She didn't want to deal with this. But the nightmare says, you have so little time, Elspeth. And Elspeth responds, what the hell does that mean? But he was gone. Not gone, just not listening.
I think.
Theory time!
Whoa!
It's a bell.
I hate that bell. That was terrible.
You love that bell.
The twin Elmder? Twin Alder. Twin Alder.
Not the
card.
Elders. Uh-huh.
It's in the grave. That's it. It's buried with a dead body. Up.
Don't you think
It's-
someone would have fucking found it by now? He just went right up his ass.
Ah, jeez. Okay,
Straight
go.
up the ass of the competition.
Where else would it be? I'm guessing we don't know in this book. We don't get to find it. Do you know where it is, though?
No.
Did you finish the second one?
No.
Oh.
I'm about halfway done. And I only have 2 more
Then
days.
don't tell me I'm crazy.
But
Because it could still be in there.
It's not, though, because I know that you're crazy. So, anyway. So, today is the day they go to look for the well card. Elm meets Elspeth at the bottom of the stairs and asks if she's ready to celebrate her sisters. Her father had invited her to celebrate Naya and Demia's name day. This time, Elspeth would steal her father's well card. So this is a big to-do. So she's not the only one who's invited. Like, Destriers are invited. Like,
it's like a
big
whole little celebration.
Yes.
Okay. Are they twins?
Yes. They are 13, I think. Anyway, the group of them, Elspeth and her people, were not the first to arrive at Spindle House. There was quite the crowd gathering at the gate. The gong struck, and Eric Spindle welcomed them all. The king was there, Ione, Hote, and Tyrn as well. Once inside the house, Elspeth, Elm, Raven, and Jesper split up to search for the well card. Elm makes a point about searching with Elspeth because he still doesn't trust her. Elspeth says, fine, because they were arguing. So she was just like, shut up. Elm and I will search the library. Then head up to the guest rooms on the 3rd floor. You two, Raven and Jesper, start with my father's bedchamber. It's on the 4th landing. Then go to the 5th. If we don't find it, we meet back in the Great Hall and search the bottom floor. Jesper asks, what's on the 6th floor? What's on the 6th floor? Elspeth tells her that her father doesn't go up there anymore because of the ghosts. No, because that's where her room was.
Oh.
Elspeth and Elm search and search, but they come up empty-handed. A voice makes them jump.
I bet he hid it in her room. Nobody goes in there.
Quit trying to theorize. Eric Stewart, Balian,
Come to me now.
Hans was there. Elspeth has a Rigoletto ref.
Hans.
Elspeth's father wanted to show the king a book and asked Balian to get it. Okay. Do you know what's happening right now? Because we kind of got off weird. Okay.
Yeah, they're searching.
So they're searching. There was a voice that makes them jump, and Eric Stewart Balian was like, hey, Eric wants to show the king this fucking book he has.
Okay.
And this is awkward. Why are you in here? But I'm just going to take the book and I'm just going to go.
Where were they
In,
at the time?
I think they're in a library because it's I don't remember. It doesn't matter where they are. That's not
all 4 of them or just the 2
just
of
the
them?
2 of them.
Okay. And he sees them in there and he's like, I'm getting a book.
Yes.
See ya.
Getting a book. Okay.
Gotcha.
You know, that has no relevance to whatever the fuck is going to happen. I don't know why you have to know every tiny detail.
I didn't even ask that
time. What is he wearing? What cologne does he have on? Does he have socks? Do they match?
That time you asked me.
All right, that's fair. Okay.
Is Balian married?
I don't know. I don't know anything about him. Just that he got that book. Okay. So an hour later, Elm and Elspeth meet Raven and Jesper at the bottom of the stairs. They had also been unsuccessful. Raven mentions that the other 3, not Elspeth, because the king doesn't give a shit, but the other 3 should be seen by the king. And then, no, that's a lie.
Which 3 need to be seen? No, why are you just making shit up?
I don't know. I thought this was going somewhere else. I wrote it. Okay. Raven says that the other 3, so Jesper, Elm, and Elspeth, should be seen by the king.
Okay.
To cover their asses.
Okay.
He was going to continue to search on his own. I don't know if he was going to use the mirror card to do it or what.
Okay, but he doesn't need to be seen by the
No,
king.
he's
Isn't he kind of
trusted.
important?
He's trusted. He's
Oh.
the trusted fella.
Okay.
So they all know. But Ione was there. Ione's at the party, remember?
Yeah.
Ione's there.
Okay.
And she pops in and she says, "Hey guys, come sit with me. I want to have a drink."
Okay,
Okay.
LSP. Oh my God.
Lump off. Okay. So Ione asks Elspeth to come and sit with her. And she wants Raven, Jesper, and Elm to come as well. They all reluctantly agree. 10 minutes. That's all they said they'd give her. And then they were going to continue their search. Ione had them sit. And then they made a toast to Naya and Dimya. But Elm stared at Ione. A moment later, he reached across the table and gripped Ione's face. When he said her name, she didn't respond. Her eyes were glazed over. Elm says, "Someone used a scythe on her." I'm breathing really heavily. I'm sorry. He taps his own thrice and asks Ione what she'd done. And Ione says, "What he bade me." Elspeth
So
went
Hope
cold.
is making her do something?
Gather them all to this table.
Or-
Because Elspeth notices that there were 5 of them and 6 goblets. And they'd already taken a drink. They toasted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cloaked in scythe red and the turquoise light of a chalice card, Hope Rowan took the seat at the end of the table. He smiled and drank from the 6th cup. It was written all over the High Prince's face, a smug, triumphant smile sewn across his lips as he slid the chalice card onto the table. He says, "Only a few moments now. Who wants to tell the truth first?" So basically, you use the card, you divvy up drinks, they drink, they have to tell the truth.
That's trickery. He's such a little pussy.
I know. I know. I hate him.
Okay. Is he? I guess we'll find out. Go ahead. I want to know what he specifically wants to know the truth about.
What happened to Elspeth's arm?
Okay. So he is concerned. Okay.
He's not.
Well,
It's not coming from a place of concern, but yes.
Of that scenario that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I know he doesn't give a
Someone needs to tell me what happened.
I have to trick you all into telling the truth.
Just to find out. Okay. This was a game they'd played before, not Elspeth, but the other 4 used to play it when they were younger. Hope gets pouty and says that, "Fine, I'll go first." So basically everyone asks him a question and obviously he has to tell the truth. So Jesper tells him that this is not a game if they never consented. Hope says only someone with something to hide would refuse to play. Classic line. Jesper finally
Everyone
agrees.
has something to hide.
At least something.
Maybe just something they don't want shared.
Something just yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like that time we may have shit our pants in a public place.
I didn't.
I don't think I did.
Oh, but for example, yeah.
Multiple occasions. Okay. Poor Kmart. Okay.
If you know, you know.
Yep. So
Kmart.
Jesper goes first and she asks Hote if he's jealous of Raven. And so he says yes. Elm asks him if he was trying to turn the Destriers against Raven. Another yes. Raven asks if he will challenge him for command. Another yes. Each person seated at the table gets a 3rd degree. And finally, the turn comes to Elspeth. So he went,
Okay.
He answered the questions.
Right.
Jesper went, everyone asked her a question.
Okay. So everybody could ask one question?
Yes.
Okay. And Hote didn't ask any of them anything about Elspeth?
Apparently not.
Okay.
They didn't tell me they did.
Well, he's stupid. So.
I agree. So the turn comes to Elspeth.
But then she's going to have to let the nightmare in again, right? To take over. Okay, go ahead.
Jessica's stressed out. She asks the nightmare for help. He tells her that the chalice affects the blood, so his magic cannot help.
Okay.
The truth must be framed. The question is just as important as the answer. So
Okay.
basically, lie by telling the truth.
Yeah. Just wording it.
Yes,
in
a
a
certain
way that-
way.
Okay.
Yes. The first question is from Ione, and she asks if Elspeth is in love.
Mhm.
Elspeth tries to lie, and she can't. So finally she says yes. And then Hote says, now the question I've been longing to ask. Tell me, Spindle, what happened to your arm? Everyone tries to come to her rescue and tell him to stop, but he continues to want the answer. Raven must have seen the fear in her face. She sees him mouth, let me help you. And before she understood what he meant, her nose filled with salt. Elspeth gasps and tells him no, but it's too late. He'd used his nightmare on her, and she is pissed. He's trying to help her concoct a truthful response,
Mm-hmm.
but she's just yelling, get out of my head, get out. And he wasn't listening, so finally the nightmare speaks to him.
It's crowded in there.
I know. He says, you heard her. Get out, Raven, you. Get out. Raven jumps the fuck back and falls out of his seat.
Yeah.
Hope grabs Elspeth's hurt arm and asks her again what happened. Raven got to his feet and told Hope that they were through. This was an ambush, not a game. As Elspeth scrambled to her feet, nausea gripped her and she let out a racking cough. She was coughing up blood. Like a fool, she'd tried to beat the chalice. She tried to lie too much, and the chalice's power had turned to poison.
So what happens now?
Now she has to get an antidote. If she gets one, it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. Elspeth awoke in her old room, so she's still at Spindle House. Raven is sitting by her bedside. Elm enters the room and tells Raven that Hope must suspect it was them that night. They need to be careful. Raven then tries to explain to him what happened when he'd used the nightmare card on Elspeth. Elspeth, who was pretending to sleep so she could hear them talk, gets told by the nightmare to just tell Raven what's going on.
Just tell me the name of the movie you want to see.
Why don't you just tell me the name of the movie you selected?
Hello, and welcome to Movie Phone.
Seinfeld. She forces her eyes open and asks what happened. Philip had given her an antidote, but she'd still be weak for a while yet. Raven asks about what he'd heard in her head. Crying, she says that it's just easier to show him. So Raven taps the nightmare card 3 times and enters her mind. He is introduced to the nightmare and he is real freaked out. He asks the nightmare who he is, and the nightmare says, the shepherd of shadow, the phantom of the fright, the demon in the daydream, the nightmare in the night.
He is so dramatic.
He's dramatic AF.
Wow.
I was going to put the Sultan of SWAT.
That's what I was thinking. The Great Bambino.
I even wrote it down.
Yeah, he's a lot.
Yeah.
So what I'm picturing, this is stupid.
Okay, go on.
You know that I don't know if it's the beginning of It's a Wonderful Life, and the stars are like flashing, and the voices go.
I've seen bits and pieces. I know the gist.
Never mind.
I'm sorry. You want to tell the audience what you picture?
Okay,
Maybe someone
the
else
stars.
understands?
It's just like a sky, a nice
Okay.
sky with stars,
Mhm.
and they like glow,
Right.
glow up,
Right.
as like one angel's talking to another.
Okay.
Is that what's going on? Are they
I
like
don't know.
walking around, sitting down, and
I
inside
didn't
of her
picture
head?
anything. I picture her standing there with these fucking people talking.
Yeah, that's what I picture.
Okay. Whatever. So he's all the nightmare in the night. And Raven asks him, what are you doing in her head? Aloud, Elspeth explains. So she's about to explain what actually happened. This is the only comment about it. Apparently, you're supposed to have understood this.
I bet I did. Go ahead.
She explains, I touched my uncle's nightmare card. It's my...
Sorry.
I didn't mean to.
He made me. Oh.
Boom. It's my ability, my magic. The moment a Providence card touches my skin, I absorb whatever it was the Shepherd King paid to create it. And I'm not sure how that works because I think, judging by the second book, spoiler alert, he barters a black horse for the black horse card. So what if she touches the black horse card? Does she now own a black horse? Or does she have a black horse in her head? Like, what the fuck? It's just not very clear.
Maybe.
Is it up to you, the reader, to decide?
I bet, like, so if he had to give up a black horse,
Mm-hmm.
maybe she has to give something up that was, like, special to her. Or...
She absorbs whatever he paid. She absorb a horse? How does that even work? I don't know, like, engulf it and then it's just gone?
I don't know.
Okay. Anyway, so when the Shepherd King made the nightmare card, he bartered his soul.
Mm-hmm.
Elm is scared and looks as if he might scream, but Raven is still. The three of them talk, putting together all the pieces of when she was acting weird and why, how it was a nightmare who actually sees the cards and helps her when she asks. Elm leaves the room a bit put out because he was like, see, Raven, you shouldn't have trusted her, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, so he was in there?
Yeah.
So he
knows too.
Okay. He wasn't
He's
in the
not
head.
No.
But he was
ain't in that head.
He ain't in the head.
He ain't in the head, but
he
was
listening.
he in the room.
All right.
Yeah. Raven talks to the nightmare and asks if he's ever hurt Elspeth. When the nightmare says no, Raven asks, why are you growing stronger? And the nightmare says, when Rowan stole my life, my soul remained, sealed in the nightmare card. I waited hundreds of years, consumed by fury and salt. Elspeth pulled me from the card, from the darkness, so I protected her from a world that would see her killed. I spoke to her from the old book. She was already good and clever, but I taught her to be wary. I gave her my gifts, my strength, but nothing comes for free, Raven you, especially not magic. Elspeth spoke then, explaining how it was the Shepherd King's castle in the ruins. Duh. The first Rowan King, here's something. The first Rowan King burned it down, murdered him and his family.
The Shepherd King?
Yep.
Okay.
He's buried in the stone chamber at Castle U. The Shepherd King.
Yeah. Okay.
Before they could continue their conversation further, a knock came on the door. It was Jesper. The king wanted to see the Destriers, and it would look suspicious if Raven wasn't with them. He stops at the door to tell Elspeth to get some rest. They would talk more later. Scratch my eye.
Okay. Ew, what?
Sorry, I had to stretch it out.
You had to stretch it out?
My eyelashes
Your
are
eyeball?
touching. Okay. Elspeth stayed in bed for 5 minutes before she gets too jumpy and has to get up. However, she was interrupted by another knock on the fucking door.
Oh my God, let her rest, right?
This time it was her father.
Uh-huh.
Daddy Spindle.
Daddy Spindle.
Daddy Spindle checks to see how she's doing and then brings up her courtship. Elspeth says that she likes him very much. At that, Eric reaches into his pocket and pulls out
the well card.
The well card. He says, your mother gifted me this when we wed. Her father had given it to her, but she wanted me to have it. Now I wanted you to have it. You don't have to give it to Raven you. You don't have to give it to anyone. I just thought, ... If I could go back and do it differently, Elspeth, I would.
Aww.
He was out the door before she could mutter, thank you. She put on her dirty dress and snuck downstairs. She wanted to tell Raven that she'd gotten the card. She waited as the Destriers left on patrol. Seeing her, Raven went to her and she told him about the well card. He said that he would send Philip to check on her and he could take the card back to Castle U. Raven would be back later that night and Elspeth tells him to be safe. Shit happens and it happens. Oh. Sorry. Philip came and went, the card with him.
Okay.
Elspeth couldn't muster enough guster to go all the way back up to her room after she showed Philip to the front door. So she sits in the parlor. And the nightmare warns her that someone is coming.
Is it that bitch?
No.
Oh.
The door to the parlor pushed open, and there stood Uncle Tiern. He tells,
What?
why are you already cautious?
I don't like him. I feel like he's sneaky, and he's a guy that's going to do what he wants to benefit himself. That's all. So
He's right.
he's probably going to rape her or something.
Okay. It's not going to
Sorry.
go there.
Sorry.
There's no rape in this book.
Good.
Surprisingly.
What? Surprisingly.
Usually someone's trying to rape someone. There's always a bad guy doing some raping.
Oh, and I realized when they first discovered her broken wrist, or Ione did, and she was concerned about it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you fell off a horse. She thought maybe Raven was
maybe was
hurting
trying
her.
to, yeah.
No, not raping.
Are you raping us? Nobody's raping anybody. What is your-
But no, but then somebody said, yeah, your
Raven
fiance is
said
quite
it.
a brute.
Yeah.
And so like these guys are beating their girlfriends
Yeah,
or
these
something.
guys fucking blow.
Okay. So anyways, creepy Uncle Tiern.
Tiern. Okay. He's standing there with all of his clothes on. He tells Elspeth that her aunt was there and that she was looking for her. Aunt Opal was supposedly waiting in Elspeth's room. So she follows her uncle up the stairs.
Why?
When they reach the 5th floor landing, Tiern shivered, which is gross. Doesn't get sexual, contrary to how it sounds. Entering the bedroom, Elspeth noticed that her aunt was not there, but Hope Rowan was. She tried to run, but her uncle blocked her path. Hope had used his scythe. He says he wants the truth about what happened to her arm. Hope looks at Tiern and says, "You may go now, Tiern. If anyone asks, assure them that Elspeth wishes to remain undisturbed, safe, and asleep, if anyone bothers to inquire." Elspeth begs her uncle not to go, but he won't even look at her. Hope taps his scythe and salt fills her nose. Elspeth reminds herself that her mind has been tested like this before. She broke through the wall of the scythe's control with a scream. Elspeth strikes out at Hope, but he grabs for his black horse card. He manages to pull her across the room, and he puts a hand around her throat. He says, "I know it was you in the wood. Scream again, and I won't just snap your wrist this time. I'll break your neck." He tore strips of bedding and tied her to a chair, commenting all the while on that he knew she had to be infected. Uncle Tiern had confirmed her infection to Hope earlier. Elspeth asks what he wants, and he says he wants help with Raven. He knew Raven, Elm, and Jesper were up to something, and he wanted to know what it was. Elspeth tells him that Raven's not going to tell him anything, but Hope's idea is to use Elspeth as bait to get him to talk. She spits in the High Prince's face and asks the Nightmare for help. But the Nightmare is hesitant, saying that he doesn't know when her degeneration would be at its end. And Elspeth says, "I'm asking for your help. I understand the price."
Okay.
Another knock sounded. That's what happens. And while that's knocking, the Nightmare tells her to get her hands free. She pulls so hard on the... Sorry, my kid coughed and it was a weird sound. She pulled so hard on the binding that blood slid down her fingers, but her hands were finally free. She heard the door slam, and she looked up into the face of Orith Willow. "Hello," he said.
Does he have his claw?
He does. "A pleasure to finally meet you, Miss Spindle."
What a piece of shit.
It only took a few moments for him to confirm Elspeth's magic. Her blood was all over the floor. She is freaking out to the Nightmare because Raven may be able to get out of the highwayman thing, but they'll know that he hid her infection, so he's condemned either way. Noise echoed from the courtyard
can't
below.
he say he doesn't know? But
there are ways to know
I
he's
know.
lying. Even though he can't use the chalice, but still. Noise echoed from the courtyard below. The Destriers were coming back. Hope tells Orith, "Douse the lantern. Stay close to the girl. I want to make it abundantly clear to Raven, should he try to fight his way out of this, that you'll gladly send a blade through his pet's pretty neck." Elspeth could see Raven's cards. He was close. The Nightmare says, "It's time." Elspeth let out a guttural scream. Orith reached her first. She shot out a foot, hitting him in the knee, and he went down hard. She screamed again. Holt backhanded her and told her to stop screaming. The heel of her palm collided with his chin. Holt had Orith help hold her. Orith says to Elspeth, "Those eyes, so dark, the same eyes I saw behind the black mask on market day, before the boy disappeared into the mist." Thanks a lot, Orith. Now Holt's like, "What?"
These guys.
Yeah, he realizes that it was Elspeth that Lyndon had come upon in the mist. Holt says to Elspeth, "You've wasted all your energy, Spindle. Just as I've caught you, I'll catch that boy again. Whether tomorrow, a fortnight, or a year from now, he'll burn just the same." A moment later, Holt was on the ground, coughing. Elspeth sat on top of him, landing blow after blow to his face. He managed to knock her off, but not before she'd split one of his eyelids. He dove for his scythe and tried to get Elspeth to stay still. Orith is also trying to attack her with his fucking claw, and she continues to block. She continues to block every blow. Without warning, salt fills her nose and Raven's voice is there. Elspeth and the nightmare warn him that Holt and Orith were there waiting for him. Holt grabs Elspeth by the hair and slams her head as hard as he can into the stone wall. Orith thinks Holt has killed her. She's gone completely still and won't respond to her name. Raven is trying to get her to answer him in her head. The nightmare tells him to stay away or they'd hang him. And then Elspeth's quiet voice says to Raven, "You can still find the twin alders. You can still save Emery, but not with Holt and Orith hunting you." The nightmare tells Elspeth to get up, but she cannot. She's too tired and weak. This was going to happen anyway. And the nightmare gently says, "Let me help you." Elspeth snapped awake with a cough. This is still the same time. She's like, "Oh, I'm at it." Because now the nightmare's helping her. And she's like, ready to go. Raven was shouting at her to hold on. Holt is happy she's not dead, but he's confused as to why her eyes are yellow. With the full force of the nightmare, she ripped the bladed glove off Orith's hand, bones snapping, and shoved it straight into his throat. He screamed and slumped on the floor, fucking dead.
That's cool.
Fixing Holt in her stare, she stalked him while saying, "They came in the night. They took many things, including the locket." That's Harry Potter. I'm sorry. They came in the night. Creature says it. "The black and red horde. They burned down my castle, put my kin to the sword. The usurper was crowned, though my blood had not dried, but he did not account for the turn of the tide. For nothing is safe and nothing is free. Debt follows all men, no matter their plea. When the shepherd returns, a new day shall ring. Death to the Rowans. Long live the king." At that, Holt's cheekbone shattered under her hand. He crashed to the floor, blood spilling out of his mouth. Elspeth asked the nightmare if it was time for her to be gone now and him to take over her body. And he says that it was. And she makes him promise that he will still help the U's save Emery, and he agrees.
So now he took over.
Yes.
And
got a couple more paragraphs.
Okay.
3 days later, in the dungeons, Elm asks Raven if he'd slept, but he can't. Too many nightmares about what they'd seen after they'd broken down the door. They'd gone in and seen the carnage. Raven asked Elspeth what happened. Keeping her eyes closed, she responded, "They were going to turn you in. Everything you've worked for, gone in a moment. You should call the Destriers. Better they know it was me and me alone." Raven tried to hug her, but she pulled away, yellow eyes flashing. Raven was still using the nightmare card at that point, because he hadn't stopped yet, and the Shepherd King spoke to him, telling him that Elspeth was quiet now, but that he was going to help them. Elm walked over and Raven told him that Elspeth was no longer Elspeth. The Shepherd King says, "I've killed the king's physician and maimed the heir to the throne. I'm infected with magic. I surrender myself to the captain of the Destriers and await an inquest by the king." So back to now, they're in the dungeon. King Rowan led the Destriers into the dungeon. He tells them to get her up. Get
Is this
It's
Quercus?
no rest home. Yes. The shepherd Quercus. The shepherd king would speak to no one but the king. He wanted to make King Rowan an offer.
Does King Rowan know it's the Shepherd King?
He's been told, but he's not.
Okay, he's like,
iffy.
oh, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he realizes after this that that's clearly not a human woman. Yeah.
Okay.
So he wants to make King Rowan an offer. However, the king did not think there was anything he would even want. The shepherd king says, well, kill me, usurper, and you will never unite the deck, never heal the infection. The mist will continue to spread. The spirit of the wood will consume Blunder and everyone in it. King Rowan asks what he wants. The shepherd king says he wants the same thing King Rowan does. He wants to unite the neck. Neck? All the necks. Unite them into one big ass neck.
What the fuck?
He wants to unite the deck, and I can't read. 4 mega necks. But he also wants King Rowan to release Emery Yu to his parents. King Rowan points out that he needs Emery's blood. The shepherd king offers his own blood instead. That is his offer. King Rowan wonders what he would get in return. The shepherd king tells King Rowan that he would get the Twin Alders card. King Rowan asks how he knows where it is. The shepherd king lowers his voice and says, the Twin Alders is hidden in a place with no time, a place of great sorrow and bloodshed and crime. Betwixt ancient trees where the mist cuts bone deep, the last card remains, waiting, asleep. The wood knows no road, no path through the snare. Only I can find the Twin Alders, for it was I who left it there.
I like the rhyming.
I know, you get used to it and then it's like, yeah, I'm into it.
Okay. So only he knows where it is. If he said it's a place like not in time
Mhm.
and
They
surrounded
explain it
by
in the second
trees.
one.
Okay. It's not the ruins of his castle. All right, fine. Fine.
Otherwise, he's taking him on a really long fucking journey to get there.
Okay. It was just right outside, honestly.
Do you have any questions? Because I've got some questions that we can ask about the book. If they're funny.
Okay. I just want to say that I like it and I'm probably going to read it. Okay, go
You
ahead.
have to.
Okay.
Okay. Question 1.
Yes.
Which Providence card would you actually want to have, and which would you absolutely avoid?
I don't remember what they all are.
Just the ones that you do remember.
I wouldn't mind. I don't do enough nefarious things.
Right.
I think talking into somebody's head would be good.
Yep.
Or the invisible one, the mirror.
Yep. Those are my 2 as well.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Because,
I need to know what people are thinking. I gotta know.
I mean, that's good and bad.
I know. And it would come back to bite me in the ass and I would cry all the fucking time. I would absolutely avoid the maiden card. Although
Would
it has
you?
some benefits
Mm-hmm.
in the second one you learn.
Okay.
But
It says all it does is just make you pretty.
beautiful. But if you use it for too long, then you become a cold, heartless fucking bitch that has no feeling whatsoever.
Oh, I wonder if her stepmom did that.
Oh, that'd be a fun little twisty bag.
Twisty bag. Okay.
All right. If you had the nightmare in your head,
Mm-hmm.
would you try to fight him?
Fight.
Fight him, or befriend him?
Befriend him.
Yeah, I mean, that's all you can do.
Yeah. Are we going to fight all the time?
Yeah. If we're here for the long haul, I'm going to have to find some redeeming qualities.
Yeah. I usually do. I usually can find something I like in somebody. Yeah.
We got secrets.
Secrets.
How long would you realistically survive in this world?
Do I have magic?
Yes, let's do one where yes and one where no. Does that change your answer?
I don't know. Well, if I don't get caught.
Right.
I can hide.
Can ya?
Yeah. You
I didn't say I could hide.
couldn't. I think I could sneak below the radar.
You would be frustrated like in the last book we read, because I would probably, even though I was giving her shit, I would probably be like, just help me hide. And he was like, I'm not going to help you hide.
What book did we do
The
last?
Butcher and the Wren, when
Oh,
they're
yeah.
in.
Oh, yeah. Just shut the fuck up and run. Damn it.
Yeah, I would not do well probably, because I would, depending on if I had a family or not. If it was just me, I feel like I would stick up for the little guy and get killed.
Yes, you would. That's an Ashley quality. Yeah. And I like saving kids.
Yeah, we'd be fucked.
I don't think I could last.
I could.
Unless, yeah, okay.
I would probably commit suicide by walking into the mist.
You
Just
don't.
fuck
You're
this.
always giving
I'm
up.
done.
Stop giving
I'm
up.
done. Okay. Which character of all the ones would dominate a game night?
Dominate a game night in a good way?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Jesper might. I got good feelings about her.
Yeah.
I feel like
She's
Hope
cool.
would be a big old baby
Yep.
if he didn't win.
Mm-hmm.
And Elm, I could go either way.
Now that I know Elm,
Yeah.
now that I know what I know about Elm, I would choose him.
Uh-huh.
But not knowing, I would choose Jesper.
Yeah.
Because she does have good vibes.
And then I think Rowan would like win a bunch, but he might like lose on purpose to let somebody else
Raven.
feel better. Yeah, Raven. Yeah.
Yeah, he would. He would feel bad.
So yeah. What do you think?
Elm.
He would win?
Yeah.
He would dominate?
He would dominate. Because he pays attention to the little fucking things.
Yeah.
And he ain't gonna trust you.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
that's what I think. I give this book 3.5 Providence cards out of 5.
3.5 out of 5. I don't rate by 5s.
Well, you do if you're on any of the book, so schmeeds.
Okay, fine. We'll do a 5-er. I'll do a 3.
Okay. That's fair. Yes.
Yeah. Since I don't know all the details that I wanted to know.
Oh, you're there. There's some lots. There's
Yeah.
some lots.
There's some lots in there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I liked it. You guys should check it out.
Yeah, it's a fun little world.
Mm-hmm.
Fun little world.
Cool
Thanks, Rach.
rhyming
Yeah.
stuff.
She had to do a lot of deep thinking to get all these parts to fit, and I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
that's my brain does not work that way.
No. It's pretty fun.
That's why I like reading it elsewhere.
Yeah. Someone else can do the hard part. We'll just read it. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well,
Okay.
we will check you later.
Check you later with the Maze Fucking Runner.
Yeah, the Maze Runner. All right. Bye. Love you.